Holy Wire Mod.
Holy Wire Mod here, and this is going to be tutorial 2C in the Lewis series, where we are going to briefly cover loops and tables to the point that you understand them enough to be able to code in Gary's mod. So this may seem basic to some of you, but others may need it. So let's do it for the others, right? Go others. Alright, so this first loop is the for loop. Now, the initial condition here is I equals 1, so the initial value of I is 1. And it will increase by 1 per pass of the loop until a final value, which we define here in the second argument. So we can say 100, we can say 25, we can say 10. We're going to keep it to 10. So I will equal a final value of 10 and initial value of 1. And with each increase of I, which increases by 1 with each pass of the loop, it'll execute whatever code is in here. So let's say that the code we're going to execute is print. It's very simple. We're going to print the value of I, which is a stored value for this for loop, so we can use it in the code. So if we're to do this, it would print an output that would look similar to this. And it would stop at 10 because 10 is the stopping point. So as I increases by 1 with each loop, it is printing the value of I, and there you go. Very simple to understand, probably the simplest loop out there. The next one is a while loop. Now, while kind of acts sort of like an if statement. You remember we had a conditional check here, Boolean is equal true or whatever like that. Same thing right here at the while loop. So while some condition is met, so while number is less than 10, and we being good coders will initialize number to equal to 0 before making this while loop, number is less than 10, then we'll execute the code. So we need to have a control here so this loop doesn't go on infinitely. We'll say that number equals number plus 1. So when number gets high enough, it's going to stop the value. It's going to stop this while loop and exit it. All right. So number will start off as 0, so the output's going to look like this. And it's going to stop at 9 because when number is equal to 9, it's going to be increased right here to 10. And it's going to do the conditional check again. It's going to see that 10 is not less than 10, so it's not going to execute the loop, and it'll exit as such. But you're still getting 10 results printed because we're starting from 0 and not 1. Okay, so that one's really simple. The last one that I want to cover is the 4kv loop. Now, before we even start typing things and confusing you, I want to draw out a table because 4kv is used to sort out through the values of the table. Now, you can either store the values here, like this. You can say hello, you can say sup, and all this stuff like that. Or you can also, additionally, set up later values because this is the first value of the table. This is the second value. So if I want to set maybe like the 10th value, I'd put 10, and then I'd set it equal to, hey. Do another greeting like that. So hey, and I can do that again, but just for the sakes of keeping it simple, I'm going to keep it to 3 different values. So in the first slot of the table, we have hello. In the second one, we have sup. And the 10th one, we have hey. So 4kv is very interesting because we have 4, there's the k, and there's the v. And we're going to say in pairs. And let's look through the table. So in pairs looks through whatever table you put in parentheses here, and then it assigns the current k value. So say k is equal to 1, or it's its first value. It's going to look at hello, and it's going to assign hello from this table to value v only for this pass of the loop. So if we were to print v right here, it's going to first print hello. Then it's going to look for the second value, sup, and it's going to print that as v, and we need to make this lowercase p. And then it's going to look through a third time for the next value, which is in 10th position of table, and that's going to say hey. So it's going to print out hey. So our output here is going to be hello, it's going to be sup, and then it's going to be hey. Just like that with the 4kv. Now, like I said, this is very, very basic explanation of tables and for loops and while loops and all that stuff. And that's just to get you by on the future tutorials so you're not confused. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask and let me know, and I'll be sure to get to you. And until then, I will see you in the next video.